get used to it. Grow up. You're raising your volume, but your logic's going down. You just sound dumb.
You make me physically sick.
Okay, good for me.
You are selfish, entitled, and lazy, and you're a liar. It's a hell of a combination.
I think you're projecting because, you know, that's you.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Was your mom your first bully? If your answer is yes, then honestly, I'm really not all that surprised because it's been a very, very common sentiment all over the internet lately. And apparently it has been for a while. Now, I can't say that was the case for me because I had a lot of bullies growing up, friends and family. And not for any reason other than just being myself. Now, I'm not really here to talk about myself, so we'll just kind of leave it on that note. Maybe we'll come back to it another day. But what I really want to focus on is this concept because it's something that has shocked me a lot last year. And even more so going into this year, just how common this sentiment really is. Because now that I've come across it, I'm just seeing it all the time. The quote, "My mom was my first bully." And this is disproportionately affect young girls growing up more so than boys, and that doesn't surprise me either because on the other side of things, you've got the boy moms who treat their little sons like absolute kings and princes. You even got the expression, you never really know love until you've had a boy, a son. And in the meantime, they're, treating their 4-year-old daughter like shit. I mean, here's a mother on TikTok who was put on blast a few months ago for just being absolutely terrible to her daughter. She was like Mother Gothel in Tangled. So this is Megan Gower, who was next in line for the Piece of Shit Mom of the Year award, which I'm not sure if she received it or not, but at the very least, she deserved the nomination.
Because Daddy won't.
Comment for being rude. Come here, let me see you. Your hair is nappy. My handsome boy! He's so cute. I got her some of those little, those little things that like, rip the little, like, be still!
Why does it look like that?
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I have more hair than you.
What's your brother fucking poop like that? Stop screaming about it, slap me one more time, I'm literally gonna smack you in the head. Pick your head! Get
Ow!
Get off the sink! Oh my god! You're not
Stop
going.
pulling me.
I will yank you bald headed.
I just shave her anyway.
I'm about to. She ain't
No,
gonna have no
she
fucking hair.
won't.
Turn your head!
Okay, she's lying.
You're literally making shit fucking complicated for no fucking reason. Yes, you are. You're deliberately doing shit. I will literally.
Anything.
We will stay here. You trying to
I'm
get
not doing anything.
We will stay here. We will go nowhere.
What am I doing?
Honestly, we already have a lot to talk about with just this first clip. Thanks to this commenter for telling me about Mother of the Year, Megan Gower, because unfortunately, she is a prime example for moms who bully their daughters, especially at a very young age. I mean, how old is this girl? Maybe 5 years old, tops? I'm not really sure. But either way, it doesn't really matter. You shouldn't be treating your child, no matter how old, like this. And did you hear when she was speaking to her son? She's like, "Oh, my handsome boy." She has a very different tone, this bright, excited, happy tone when she's talking to her son. But when she's talking to her daughter, she's the devil incarnate. And this poor girl is literally having her hair pulled and yanked off her head while she's getting yelled at and berated by her mom. And she's asking, "What did I do?" And mom here doesn't even have a response. She just stares angrily at the camera because, like, what did she do? Exactly, right? She didn't have an answer for that because there was no answer. And this sort of thing is shockingly common. This dynamic between mom treating daughter like shit and treating son like an absolute king. Now, in my previous videos, I've kind of gone into, where this stems from. And there's so many little moving parts to this. Now, there's the competition aspect, there's the jealousy aspect, There's the self-reflection aspect. But no matter what it is, there's never a point where this type of behavior is justified. Now, here's an example of someone who has experienced motherly bullying firsthand, kind of explaining what it's like.
Sometimes your first bully isn't at school. Sometimes it's your mom. My mom wasn't an obvious bully. She was a covert bully. To this day, if somebody walks up behind me and I don't hear them, I will jump 5 feet in the air. That reaction comes from when I was a kid and I'd be in my bedroom and she would come flying, like the door fly open, and she'd just start screaming at me if I was not doing what she expected me to be doing. There were 0 boundaries in our house. The funny thing is, did her screaming work? No, it did not. It didn't teach me responsibility. It actually kept me from learning healthy skills because she didn't know how to have a healthy, mature, and normal conversation. And the truth, she didn't know how to parent. Her stepfather beat her, so she grew up walking on eggshells, and so she made me grow up walking on eggshells. She just repeated the cycle. But her trauma and what she went through, while it helps me understand why she did what she did to me, it doesn't excuse it. Her favorite way to bully me was through triangulation. And I say favorite because I honestly think she enjoyed it. She always had to have someone on her side. She would twist the stories and lie and then play the victim in it. She claimed to hate liars, but it turns out she was the biggest liar in the room. Here's what I've learned. When your mom is your first bully, you will carry scars into adulthood that will take years for you to truly understand. But once you have the ability to name it for what it is, you can finally start to break the cycle. So let's make an echo that says, even when the bully is your own mother, you can still choose healing.
And she's absolutely right. You know, when you grow up, you always have 2 really important choices, right? Especially if you have like abusive parents, for instance, or a bully for a mother. You can choose to be just like them, like many in the past have done, like many of these mothers that are in these videos have done because they were treated poorly. They had trauma from their parents or abuse that they suffered. Right? And they choose to be just like them because it's like, well, this is how my parents were, so this is how I'm going to be. I've seen this time and time again. I've seen this with my own friends who have had parents who are like, oh, my dad beat me, so I'm gonna beat you, sort of thing. Or do you have the option to be nothing like them, which is also something I've seen with my own friends and family, people around me, etc. And that's always the better path, right? If you had abusive parents, manipulative parents, narcissists, people who treated you like absolute shit, you get the choice to be nothing like that. But many times people have a very, very hard time going down that route. And truth be told, there really is no excuse not to. It's called breaking the cycle. And the only way to create a world where this is not so commonplace is to break the cycle, to put an end to it, to not put this burden onto your own children or future generations. Now, at this point, I want to go over some examples of young girls who have grown up and are just done with their mom shit. Either they're not taking it anymore, they don't take it seriously, they don't care anymore, they've become completely numb to it, or they've decided to give their parents a taste of their own medicine.
Every day of my life, so get used to.
Get used to it. Grow up. You're raising your volume, but your logic's going down. You just sound dumb.
You make me physically sick.
Okay, good for me.
You are selfish, entitled, and lazy, and you're a liar. It's a hell of a combination.
I think you're projecting because, you know, that's you.
My mom just finished running her first 10K and she got 4th place in her age group. And I told her that she should have done better. I know immediately you're like, what the fuck? Like, that's so fucked up. That's so mean. But you have to understand something. My entire childhood, my entire life, she has told me that unless I get 1st place in whatever it is that I'm doing, my efforts are worthless. And my whole life, I've tried to explain to her how that makes me feel, how much that fucked me up, because it didn't allow me to enjoy the process of anything I did unless I got the highest achievement, which I did, by the way. But it made me, grow up to be this person who beats herself up for every single little thing, unless everything is absolutely perfect, unless it absolutely works out. And even when I get that achievement, I can't enjoy it. Like, I can't really celebrate. And so of course I've been trying to like work on that myself. But she has never apologized. She has never understood. She has never told me that, that she fucked up, or like any kind of acknowledgement or responsibility for what she did, like the mental abuse that she put me through. So after so many years of just telling her, trying to explain to her, trying to like break through to her, I finally said, you know what? I'm just going to start reacting the way that she has always treated me, so that maybe, just maybe, she'll understand how it feels, and maybe she'll laugh it off. Maybe she'll, I don't know, just whatever. Maybe she won't care. But I feel like that's all I have left in me in terms of fighting it somehow.
Spoiler alert, did not change anything for the mom. She didn't apologize. She didn't really see the reflection in the mirror. But anyway, this is how path one begins, right? You become bitter, right? You become resentful, and you want to inflict that pain back at someone else. And in this case, it's happening to their moms, right? They're inflicting that pain back to their own mothers. But oftentimes, that pain is then transferred to their own future children. They experience the same things that their moms did. They look at their daughters the same way that their moms looked at them, and they continue this vicious cycle. Now, I'm not saying that either of these two will be doing that if they have daughters of their own in the future, but it's this type of thinking that results in that. Now, I'm not going to fault them for feeling the way they do, or even acting the way that they did towards their moms. I mean, let's be honest, their moms fucking deserved it. But it's paramount that the cycle dies here, right? That it does not continue on into the future generation. And it might be hard to do so when you have this bottled up resentment and bitterness and anger towards your own mom and for how you were treated. And you might want to then treat someone else that way. And hopefully, like I said, it does not carry on, but you never really know. Never really know. Now, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if both of these women completely cut their mothers off at some point. I mean, the one seems to be still living with her mom. I don't know if the second one does. I doubt it, but she could be. And in a scenario where they're not dependent on their mothers in any way, shape, or form anymore, they might just go no contact. Who knows? That's a common route too. But even then, there are some mothers out there who think that you as their child owe them everything. I know, sounds crazy. Usually the opposite, right? That your parents owe you everything because you didn't choose to be born, you didn't choose to be conceived and brought into the world. That was their choice, right? So it's their responsibility to make sure you're happy, that they provide everything for you, and you could be nice enough to help them out in their senior years in the future, something like that, But this Mother of the Year begs to differ. So this absolutely wonderful, lovely lady is referred to as Doormat Mom. Many of you might have heard of her.
The biggest cop-out in the world that I hear from the estranged adult-child community on this platform is that they don't owe their parents anything. Yes, I'm going to say it. Yes, you do. You absolutely do. You owe your parents for bringing you into this world and keeping you alive. You owe them for the love they gave you, the caring they showed you, and the protection that they afforded you as they sent you on your way to live your life. And yes, you owe them, as the good parents that they were, a seat at your wedding and an opportunity to have a relationship with their grandchildren. If they were good parents to you, yes, you owe them. And I'm so tired of that psychobabble that provides you a cop-out of mass proportions. You do. You owe them.
Honestly, when I first saw this, I thought it was satire because it's so unbelievably silly. I'm like, she can't be serious, right? Like, again, it's pretty obvious. Like, you didn't, like, you know, pop into their mind and, you know, break into their psyche, you know, pre-birth and was like, yes, bring me into this world. I command you, birth giver. It's just not what happens, obviously. So the responsibility clearly falls on the parents to be a good parent, right? She's saying she was a good parent, but apparently she wasn't invited to the wedding and is not allowed to see her grandbaby. Gee, I wonder why. You seem very entitled. My guess is you were not a very good mama. You probably treated your daughter like shit. The fact that she used the term estranged adult children is crazy to me. I feel like one of the most mature adult things you could possibly do is to cut off your damn parents if they treated you like shit. That takes bravery, that takes maturity, that takes like so much willpower. It's so difficult, especially if you have like manipulative parents and you grow up thinking that they're the shit, right? In reality, they are shit, not the shit. And that becomes really difficult. It becomes really difficult to cut those people off, especially when they have, you know, been there to help you grow and give you the life that you have, even if they were shitty along the way. You know, there's a part of you that's always going to feel like you owe them something, but then to tell yourself that you don't, convince yourself that you don't, and then cut them off and then go live your life and choose yourself first, that takes courage and that takes maturity, something that Mommy Dearest here clearly does not have. And obviously she is very much projecting here because she is clearly very salty about being cut off from her own children, it seems. Some of these extremely bitter mothers will continue to be bitter far into their own kids' adulthood, just like this mom here, doormat mom, who would probably be attacking her kids now if she could, but seems like they've gone no contact.
My mom is super toxic. She does this thing where she like toxic text messages me, and it's just like long paragraphs of why she thinks I'm this or why she thinks I'm that and I need to stop doing this, and she like diagnoses me with all these mental illnesses. Like this last one, she told me that I had the savior complex. I didn't even know what that was. I had to like Google it, and it turns out it's exactly what she has, but she's transferring that onto me, saying that I have it. Classic toxic narcissism from my mother. Then after she says all this, like 6 long text messages, like paragraphs of stuff, like how I'm torturing my son because I have to brush his teeth every night and I hold him down while I do it. He's 1. Like, he's not going to he does actually willingly do it now. But she's accusing me of giving my daughter a mother wound because of how some days I don't feel like playing with her, and I put that on TikTok and I post my honest opinions about playing on TikTok, and she's like, later when she grows up and she watches your TikTok, she's going to have such a big mother wound because of what you say. Okay, I'm here to tell you that it is 100% okay, fine, 100% okay to cut off your mom, to do a no contact with your mom if she crosses your boundary. My boundary was simple. I don't want your unwanted opinions. And not only that, but it's like really harsh criticisms that are not true, and it just makes her feel better to say it because it just makes her feel like, okay, now I said it, now I've done what I can. I wash my hands of this situation. And again, that's narcissism. It's all about how she feels. It's about her. She doesn't have any regard about how I feel or how other people feel.
So yeah, as you can see, sometimes the bullying just never stops. It never stops. It just takes on different forms. And that's a phenomenon that I truly can't understand. Because it's like, at this point, your daughter's left the nest, right? She's no longer a threat to you, right? She should have never been a threat to you in the first place. But I think it has something to do with the fact that some moms feel that their children are extensions of them, and therefore they should live their lives and do things the way that they want them to. They're an extension of herself. And obviously that's not true. Your child is their own independent, individual person. They get to live their lives however they see fit. You don't get to dictate that for them, but they're not trying to hear that nonsense, right? They're not trying to hear that. That's a bunch of poppycock, obviously. And if you do find yourself in that situation, Yeah, she's absolutely right. Choosing to cut them off because they won't stop crossing these boundaries, well within your right to do so. That is your prerogative. If you want to take that action, then fucking take that action. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And she brings up the most common talking point, right? The most common excuse is, oh, she's your mom. She birthed you. She raised you. She fed you. She did all these things. But she was also toxic. She was also a net negative on your mental health and is continuing to do so and continuing to be that way. Then you should pick yourself first, get yourself out of that situation. If she wants to have a relationship with you, then she is going to have to change. And there's nothing else to it than that. I want to wrap up with this video because it is a great example of exactly what happens when you experience this type of trauma with your own parents, and you carry that over to your own kids. Now, fortunately, she became aware of what was happening and is trying her best to put an end to it now.
My daughter told me in 6-year-old language today that I am her first bully. And that is something that I have wrestled with since 6:30 this morning. It's now 4 o'clock. Mornings are hard for us. I am not a morning person by nature, and neither is she. I try to get up like 5:30. I get her up around 6 so that we can get dressed, do hair, have breakfast, and be out the door by like 7:20. And this morning, my husband offered to take over so that I could get some rest and so that she could have some time with him before she leaves for school. And they had a really good, easy time. She got up, she got dressed, they had breakfast, and then I woke up in time to do her hair before we left. But as soon as she saw me this morning, she just like freaked out, like started having a really hard time. I was like, what happened? Like, we've been totally fine. And then mom comes in to help you, and everything changed. And mind you, I'm literally awake for like 10 minutes at this point. And so I start to do her hair, and she's just like so whiny and so mad and just having like a really hard time. And she told my husband it's because mommy gives me the freakouts. And I'm like, oh my God, I do. I take my medication in the morning, but typically after I get her started for the day. I take medication for ADHD and for anxiety so that it will last the whole day. I take it first thing in the morning, but it's actually not first thing in the morning because getting her up and dressed is the first thing in the morning.
So she explains that she started taking her medicine sooner, so waking up sooner, taking her medicine, so that she's a little less crabby in the morning, and doesn't, mistreat her daughter, treats her better. I'm hoping that this is changing things because it's a good thing that she's become aware that she is a problem for her daughter, because that is not normal for your 6-year-old to go to your husband and say, mommy makes me freak out. I mean, thank goodness this little girl is already brave and smart enough to even articulate that to her father, and so that they can bring that to their attention. Now, I know there's probably situations where this has happened in the past, where they've, if you've had little kids growing up and they recognize that there was a problem and they might have mentioned or said something about it or complained about it, and the parent just ignored them. This is a direct antithetical example to that, where they've become aware of it and are actually making efforts to do something about it, which is good because this is one way that you break this cycle. But anyway, that's really it for this video. Let me know what you think. See you all next time.